Hello everyone, my name is Julia and I'm starting my new podcast today, which I'm really nervous about. I'm really excited. I actually haven't made any notes as to what I'm going to talk about. I just put everything everywhere and I'm going to see how it goes. So, my name is Julia. I'm 22 years old, I think. Yeah. I'm from Germany and I currently live in the beautiful city of Würzburg, which is like a little student town, city-ish place. And yeah, it's really nice. Today is the 6th of August 2015. And yeah, I'm just so excited. So how did I start knitting? Well, I learned it as a child, but never really did it until about 3 years ago. Because I was doing some crochet, and then I thought, okay, knitting is way cooler than that. Sorry to everyone who does do crochet. So I asked my grandma to show me how to knit socks. And that's what I did for about a year at least. All I did was knit socks. I must have like 20 pairs of socks. Most of them are not that great. But anyways, and then about last year I figured, okay, I want to start a jumper, but I had no idea what to do. So I ordered some really cheap polyamide yarn because I didn't want to waste lots of money on a jumper that was probably not going to turn out that great. And it actually turned out really well, but because of the bad quality of the yarn, I never wear it. But yeah, ever since that, I've been knitting everything. And then I started my blog in February, I think. And that's when it got really intense. Like I started buying more expensive yarns. I started buying patterns on Ravelry. I learned lots of new techniques. And yeah, it's kind of been going strong ever since. I spend way too much money on yarn. I'm a student. And I quit my job as a barista in the beginning of the year because I didn't have enough time. So I can't constantly buy expensive yarn, but I spend a lot of money on yarn. But I'm writing a couple of articles a month, which I get paid for, and do some work here and there. So it works out alright. But that means I don't have a fancy project bag for everything, and I definitely can't afford sweater amounts of yarn, which end up costing me 100 euros or something. That's just not happening at the moment. But I'm sure it will at some point. So, enough about me. If you want to know anything, just let me know. I don't really know what to talk about. So I'm going to talk about my projects, my acquisitions, and then probably some random odds and ends in the end. So, works in progress. I have this work in progress in my beautiful bag, which my sister made for me. Because all the podcasters had like really pretty bags. And I wanted to make one, but I can't, so I actually did this bit. This is what I did. It was really hard for me anyways. You're gonna laugh at me. But yeah, it's like stripy with cute little mice inside. I think it's so adorable. And my sister did this really well. So in my project bag, I have my favorite yarn. Hang on, let me figure it out. Oh, the colors are terrible. This is Lana Merilux lace, which I think is a UK-based yarn. It's like way more, kind of like a salmon color. Oh, it's a bummer it doesn't show up properly. And I'm kind of making up my own strappy little lace top. Hang on, let's just see if I put it around my neck maybe. You can kind of see the color. But it's more bright in real life. It looks almost grayish. But yeah, I love this yarn. It's super soft. I did a banana leaf shawl out of the same yarn. What else did I do? I did something else. It's 100% wool, which in the beginning I thought it was too squishy, but it's really, really nice. And I think the sort of stripy thing will only block out. Like once it's blocked, it'll look really nice. At the moment, I'm not too sure. But I'm just kind of keeping going, even though it's really boring. But yeah, so that's what's happening. When I'm bored out of my mind, I just try to do a couple of rows every couple of days just to keep it going. But one row takes so long. And I have another ball of this yarn lying around, which I'm going to use for something more exciting than that. My second work in progress is my Stephen West shawl, which I'm excited about. It's the Smooth Move. I bought the pattern about... When was the sale? There was a sale, and I bought it. And then I realized, I don't really know. I don't have the yarn. But I finally ordered some Drops Baby Merino yarn. And I'm knitting it. Hang on, let me turn it around. So this is like a really simple garter stitch construction with short rows. I thought it would be more difficult because I did the dotted rays shawl, which I really liked by Stephen West, and that was more difficult. But yes, I'm doing the blue part. Now I'm doing a stripy section. The next section will just be that light gray. Sorry, stuff's going everywhere. And yeah, you can see here, that's like the short rows, like it gets smaller. And that's what gives it that really interesting geometrical look. I really like it. And I was really bored by it, but now I've been knitting crazy lots on it. And it's already huge. And maybe half done. So it's gonna be a big project. I love big shawls. I love knitting shawls. That's it for work in progress. I'm doing some more things, but I'm not really knitting on them. So I don't want to show you everything. For finished projects, I have my 3-color cowl, which is by Joji Locatelli. I did this for the Purposeful Stash Along. Hang on. Don't want to show you my seaming. It's terrible. And it's knitted in Drops Alpaca in like a lime color. Hang on, does it show better? It's like a lime and a turquoise, and this is like a dark blue. I'm not sure of the colorway. If you want to know, just let me know. So I basically did the pattern as it says. And then here, the pattern didn't come out at all. So I did some rows with like holes and yarn overs because I was bored. Then I did in the lacy section, in this last bit, I just kind of changed around the colors. And you're supposed to do this in one color, but I ran out. So I just did it with lots of colors. And I like it. And this is the first cowl I made because I usually don't like cowls. I don't like wearing them. They're like really thin. But this one's really nice. Like, I think it's really nice. Do you think it's nice? It is alpaca, so if you're sensitive, it's probably not going to be a good idea. But I don't care at all. I just wear everything. And my sister actually wrote to me, and she wants one too. So she said I have to wait a little while because I just ordered yarn, and I can't order yarn again because I really don't have the money. But it's definitely going to happen. I really like the pattern. It's like a fun pattern because it constantly changes. And I mean, you could do so many more things with it. You don't have to do it this way. But I really like it, and it's got a good size. Like it's pretty substantial. So yeah, this is going for the Purposeful Stash Along for Little Bobbins Knits, who is hosting it until I think the beginning of October. So you should enter. You still have lots of time. Now I think I should have done a larger project for it. Like, it would have been a good idea to finally get down to doing a cardigan or something, because there's lots of time. But yeah, so I've done this, and that's it, and that's alright. I think I'm rushing through this. Am I rushing through this? I feel like I've been talking for ages, and it's been like 10 minutes. So I guess I should slow down a bit. Oh yeah, and I knit this on 3.5 millimeter needles. I have no idea about US sizes, so you're gonna have to deal with that. I'm basically knitting everything on 3.5 millimeter needles. My lace I'm doing on 3.5 as well. They're my favorite needles. They're my Addy lace needles. They're like really sharp, I think. I can't show you. Oh. And I love those needles. They're great. They're fantastic. And they've got the best band. The other needles I have are mostly like leftovers from my grandma. I think they're good quality, but I have no idea where they're from. I'm doing the Stephen West shawl on I think it's 3.75 needles, which is actually what the pattern calls for. So I usually don't really follow patterns, I kind of make up my own thing, and I don't keep gauge, and I tend to just gauge. I tend to just measure things and do it my own way. But this worked out really well. And I think the baby Merino in Stephen West is a bit too thin, but it's a superwash yarn, so it's probably gonna go huge when I wash it. And so I think it's fine. And the Stephen West shawl is huge anyways. It's gonna be humongous, so it'll be fine. Sorry, I'm really jumping around here. I hope you don't mind. Another thing I started. Oh, hang on. I forgot something. Forgot my socks. Let me get them. Sorry about that. I finished my socks. They definitely have to go into this podcast. These are socks from my first, hairy, hand-dyed yarn. And so I did a food color dye the other day, and ever since then I'm really addicted to hand dyeing yarn, as you will see. There's a ton of hair on this. It's terrible. So this is my first try. I overdyed some Tweedy yarn by Regia, I think, which was in a light grey. I didn't think it would work, but it worked really well. Like, I really like the color. It's kind of a green with a tint of yellow and some almost bluish tones. I wish this would show up better. Why doesn't it? And I applied some serious yarn chicken. I thought the yarn wasn't going to be enough, even though I calculated it. I must have done something wrong. Because I figured out I have 70 grams and I need 35 grams for a sock if I knit it with a 100 gram ball, so that should be fine. It wasn't. So I did some red tips, which I actually really like. So the way I knit my socks, these are really plain socks. I did a short calf with a 1x1 ribbing. And then I'm not sure what this heel is called. In German it's called Herzferse, which means hard heel. But yeah, I'm not sure. Is this like a normal heel? You do like, you knit it up and then you do the short rows and then you join again at the side. Do you do every heel like that? I really have no clue. Let me know if you know. So yeah, I finished those socks and they fit perfectly, which I'm really happy about. This is the first pair of socks I knit in maybe in a year, or maybe 9 months or something. It's definitely been ages, and I really enjoy it. I kind of stopped doing it because I thought they were boring, and then I started watching all your podcasts, and everyone's doing socks. And it made me want to do socks, and now I want to do more socks. So yeah, these are my socks. Then on to spinning. I got a drop spindle maybe 3 weeks ago. It's really new, and I'm really just starting to figure things out, but I feel like I'm going pretty good. Those who follow me on Instagram have seen my first tries. I'm not gonna pull out everything now. I just wanted to show you what I finished yesterday, what just dried. Like, I literally got it from our balcony 5 minutes ago. So this is a really thick yarn. I'm calling it my polar bear. It's not a polar bear, but I feel like it's gonna be a fantastic thick hat. I don't really like knitting hats, but again, I starting to get into it again. This is maybe 50 grams. I have another 50 grams of fleece lying around, so I can just make more if it's not enough. I originally knit this as a single, but then I didn't like it, so I plied it last night. Maybe over-plied it a little, but I wanted it to be like sturdy, and yeah, I really like it. So I've done that, and this is just 100% wool that came with my spindle. I have better fibers and stuff now. I just wanted to use it up. And then I've got this bead. I'm really bad at scanning it. Hang on, how can I show you? Ta-da-da. So this is like different tones of blue, and as you can see, it is huge. This is about 130 grams, I think. I'm just gonna open it up, and it's 100% wool. It's not 100% even, but yeah, like different blues, which I thought of applying with itself, and then I wasn't sure, and it went on forever. And I ended up plying it with a cashmere because I bought some Mongolian cashmere yarn about a year ago from Amazon for like $10, and it's like never-ending amounts of cashmere. I have so much of it. So I've been starting to ply with it. It's like almost silver. I quite like it. I always want to ply yarn with itself, and then when I finish, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna lose so much yardage. Maybe I shouldn't. And this is huge. I could probably make a shawl with this. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I wasn't happy with it when I thought I was spinning it up really well, and then I kind of really ruined the plying part of it. Still figuring it out. But yeah, I think it hasn't turned out too bad. I have to run again. Sorry. I want to show you my dyeing. So these beauties I have hand dyed as well. Sorry, to everyone who's following me on Instagram, you've probably seen all this, but oh well. So I've started hand dyeing, as I said. So my socks came out of that, and I dyed again. So I've only been dyeing sock yarn, mainly because I can't be bothered ordering expensive yarn bases, because you always have to pay postage, and I don't want to order like 5 kilos of yarn, which would make it worth it. So I've just taken like Regia sock bases, which you can get in like a drugstore, and I've dyed them. So this one I don't particularly like. It's like a little bit more baby blue than you can see. Oh, well, this was my first try. So I guess you can't expect it to be perfect. And who knows, maybe if knitted up, it might not be that bad. I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. And then this one, this is super bright. This is actually showing up alright. It's not perfect, but it's alright. So this as well was supposed to be blue and yellow. And obviously, I should have thought of that. It got very green. It's more green than it looks like. It's really bright. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I think it's going to be nice. I want to scale it up and see what it looks like in a ball. So yeah, and this is 100 grams, so this is a substantial amount of yarn. And then I've got another 100 grams, and this one I love. Look at it, it's like yellow. It's like yellow and pink, it's like pastel. It's got this purple, almost speckleish, little bit of blue in it. And I think this is gonna be really pretty. Maybe if I should hold it in front of this, it's gonna, yeah. Still doesn't work. And this is also 100%, 100 gram sock yarn. And so this was the second dye I did. And for some reason, the yarn didn't like the color as much as the first time I did it. So it was a bit more like runny and going everywhere. It didn't absorb the dye as much. I think that's what you call it. So yeah, but I'm really happy with them. I really like this like bluish part, purplish part. And yeah, let's see how that goes. I'm really happy with it. And now I will constantly want to dye. So I did this with food coloring. The first time I did it because I obviously didn't have better coloring. And I was really scared that it was all gonna just wash out and be gone and goodbye yarn basically. But it didn't. It worked really, really well. So I basically soaked the yarn obviously in vinegar and water and a bit of soap. And then I did the whole technique where you do it on a, where you can, I don't know the word. You spread the yarn out on like foil and you put, and then you just put the colors on. Like I didn't do it in the pot or whatever. I have no idea about dyeing. So that's how I did it. And then you fold it all up and you put it in the microwave. Because I was too scared to put them in the oven for like an hour. So you put it in the microwave for 2 minutes at like the highest power. Then you let it sit for a while, and then you do the whole thing again, and it gets really hot. And I did like glad wrap around it, which you're supposed to do, and I had like kind of little bits of melted glad wrap, but it worked out. So I can definitely recommend that, even though it was a bit scary, like putting glad wrap in the microwave, and it gets proper hot. But so then I just let it cool off, and then washed it out, and no color came out at all. Like, I was so surprised. So yeah, and I really like the idea of food color dyeing, because you can just, like, there's nothing that will harm you. You can use like kitchen stuff, and you can just reuse it afterwards, because I mean, the dye, there's nothing bad about it. It's just food coloring. There's vinegar and there's water. Like, it's absolutely healthy, and I like it that way. Like, I don't have much space, so I don't want to have like all this dyeing stuff standing around and messing up the kitchen. So this technique works really well for me. So I think I'm gonna keep doing that for a while. I mean, I'm gonna get bored eventually, but so far so good. So enough about dyeing. I feel like I'm talking about dyeing more than I talk about knitting. Acquisitions. I got beads today. I got little stitch markers. They're like normal rings with little blue beads. I really needed them, and I love them. I think they're so pretty, because so far I only have like the plastic ones that you can open, and they're so ugly, and they're too light. And I feel like, for example, I did the banana leaf shawl where you need like 9 of them. They get caught in the lace, and yeah, it's just not pretty and not practical. So I got these, and I really like them. The beads are they change. Some of them look like little flowers, some of them are round. I don't know if that's supposed to be that way. They were really cheap. I bought them on Dawanda, which I think is like German Etsy. So this cost me like $3, which I don't consider a lot. And yeah, I'm not buying yarn, but I feel like that's okay. Oh, that's what I tell myself. And I did buy some yarn because I had my huge exam last week, which I was probably scared of. It was like my major exam in clinical psychology and neuroscience, and I was so scared. I probably studied for it for about 3 months, and I was freaking everyone out. My boyfriend just kind of couldn't deal with it anymore. I couldn't deal with it anymore. And then it happened, and it went really well. And I got home, and usually, like, I call my friends or my family or my boyfriend, and like have to talk about it and celebrate it, but no one was there. Everyone was busy, everyone was working. It was the middle of the day, and I was like, yeah, I've worked so hard. I'm gonna order some yarn. So that's what I did. So I ordered the drops, which I used for my Stephen West shawl, which I showed you already, and I spoiled myself. I ordered some Malabrigo lace, because I've been looking at Malabrigo for ages, but for me, it's still really expensive. I mean, like, I know that lots of people spend lots of money on yarn, but for me, $20 or 15 euros or whatever on like one string of lace seems expensive. But these ones are alright. I had to get them. So I got 2 red ones. Hang on, let me see. In the Pagoda colorway. Hello. So it's like a dark red. I think it's the perfect red wine. Like, it's a red wine burgundy color. So what do you call it? Bordeaux. Bordeaux, that's the color. But yeah, the colorway is called Pagoda. And it's the Malabrigo lace. Hang on. I think they have like a special lace, like a lace silk. This is just a normal lace. It's a single ply. And I'm really happy with it. I think it's so pretty. So I love these. They're so nice. And I've never done lace knitting with a single, but I feel like it's gonna be more fluffy. I really like it. So this is 100 grams, like 250 gram skeins. And I was gonna make another banana leaf shawl, which is about my favorite lace pattern, even though it's not like a normal lace pattern. It's the one with the stripes, like it doesn't have yarn overs and all that. But because I definitely want to do another banana leaf. But then the one I did was also a lace, and it's kind of too short. It's too small for me. So I'm also playing with the idea of making a giant banana leaf shawl with my alpaca yarn, because I have like alpaca yarn, which is actually the same color as well. And I have like 7 balls of it. Because I feel like if you have like a really big banana leaf wrap, that's going to be good as well. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they're going to be a banana leaf, maybe not. And I got one more. I actually opened the skein so it's not as pretty as the other ones. This is the water green colorway. Does it look just like gritty? It's like a minty sort of colorway. Yeah, water green just kind of says it all. So this is 50 grams, which comes to 470 yards. I think that's like 420 meters. I'm too stupid for yards and inches and all the crazy things that you have over there. So yeah, it's not a lot, but I feel like if I make it like a cute cowl out of it, it's gonna be enough. What do you think? Do you have good patterns? Do you have any ideas? I think it's really pretty. So yeah, I've gotten into the cowl phase now, obviously, after my Joji Locatelli cowl. So yeah, let me know what you think. So I think that's it for new acquisitions. I still have a lot of stash, and obviously you don't know it. And for me, some of it's still new, but I'm not gonna bore you with it. And most of it is like drops yarn, which is really pretty. I love drops, but you're probably not gonna be that interested in it. And if I knit something out of it, you're gonna see it anyways. So I think I'm just gonna talk a little bit about general stuff. I'm at 26 minutes with it. I think that's a good time. So I went through my Instagram yesterday. I'm going to give you the details about all of that later. And I noticed all I knit is blue stuff. Everything I have on there is blue or turquoise or maybe green. And that's about it. Which is crazy because I used to never do blue stuff. Basically everything I ordered up until 2 months ago was like either this color, like red, or was pink. And I don't even wear pink. But I keep on ordering all those pink and red and yeah, just those shades. I love those shades. Like, you know how sometimes you pick yarn and you don't really think about what you're gonna wear. You just pick the prettiest color, and that's what I always picked. And these days it seems like I'm always knitting blue. And I was thinking about what I'm gonna knit next, and it might be like a mint green thing as well. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should do my red alpaca first. Then I don't want to sort my knitting with color. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what happened there. But I guess you have these things. Like my friend, she always buys everything with flowers on it. And she doesn't even realize it. But everything she has is flowers. So I guess we knitters do that too. Yeah, I'm just rambling on. Sorry about that. What was I gonna say? I'm confused here. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about me, about my life. I don't want to get too personal. I'm still trying to figure this out because I'm watching a lot of lovely podcasts. I don't want to name favorites because I don't want people to be left out. But yeah, anyway, so I'm watching the Knitting Expat podcast by Mina, which is just lovely. I like the long episodes. I feel like she always apologizes for them, but I'm like, yeah, it's perfect. Keep going. And like everything she says is interesting. So you should definitely check that out, but I'm sure you all know that anyways. Then, as I said before, I mentioned the Little Bobbins podcast from Danny, who has the Purposeful Stash Along. I love her podcast. It's fantastic. I like how she's like quiet and yeah, it's just really nice. I really love it. Then I'm watching a very different one by Diaries of a Yarn Snob by Julie. Hi Julie, you have the same name. Awesome. So, and she's hilarious. I love her podcast. I think it's so funny. Like, I'm always really amazed what people who consider themselves a beginner knitter, like they do this hard stuff that I take like 3 years to finally start doing because I'm so scared. And yeah, she's just so funny. I just love her little tangents and She knits really pretty stuff, obviously, as well, but I just love her personality. She's so vibrant, and yeah, it's really fun. And then podcasts I've recently got into is Susan B. Anderson's podcast, and I've been watching, oh god, what's Nessa Tawley's podcast called? Oh my god. I watched Fiber Nymph yesterday. Her podcast is called 90% Knitting. I just found that last night, but that was really good. Oh god, I'm forgetting. I found Knitfitch, who is an American girl living in Tokyo, and she's really active and crazy, and I like that. Again, I think she started knitting like a year ago, and if you watch her first episode, it's intense. Like, she knits this really difficult stuff, like just dives in. It's crazy. I love that. I think it's really awesome. Yeah, what else do I watch? Hannah from the Rose Hip Knits. She's the one who inspired me to do my dyeing. So, not that I think you'd watch it, but if you ever watch this, you inspired me to do this, and I'm really happy by it. And when I was putting a photo on Instagram of my socks, she said she liked my colors, and I was like, oh my god, the person who made me start dyeing actually loves my colors. That's fantastic. So yeah, I got really excited about that, which I probably shouldn't, but oh well. Yeah, there's so many podcasts. So anyway, so all these podcasts have like inspired me, and everyone who does a podcast is very different. Like, some people are very like down to business, which is fine. And then some people, they talk about their life, and they're more like out there, and they tell more about their personal stuff, which I think is amazing. And like, why wouldn't you? So I'm not really sure like what's sharing, what's oversharing. Do you really care about my life? Do you just want to be like, get on with your shit and sorry about the swearing. Sorry. Do you just want to, see the knitting and go? I have no idea. Just let me know. I think I'm just going to have to figure this out. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to call this yet. I just kind of dove right in. So, because my name is Julia, and on Ravelry, my name is wuepfi, which is like a weird story of how it got there. But that's like WUEPFI. But I have like the same picture there as on Instagram, so you might find me. And then it gets even more complicated, because obviously when I started knitting, when I started my podcast, my blog, it was all in German, and I was like, yeah, well, like, why would I not choose a German name? So I chose glücklich stricken, which is happy knitting. Like, in my blog subtitle actually says, because knitting makes me really happy, because that's what knitting is for me. Like, yeah. Anyway, so I feel like if I call my blog glücklich stricken, everyone is gonna be like, I can't say that. So I'm gonna check out whether there is a Happy Knitting podcast. But I feel like it's such an obvious one. Probably there is. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out a name. And like, do I have to make like a separate YouTube channel, or like a new YouTube account? Or do I just post on my normal account? Or is that confusing because it's another name? Should I just call it Julia's podcast? Oh my god, I have no idea. And like, I love how all the good podcasts, they have like the Ravelry name, the Etsy name, and the Instagram name, and it all kind of works together, and with me it's just all over the place. Yeah, I'm not really too sure. I'm gonna do a short week review. So, I just came from the dentist. I love my dentist, he's really nice, but I still hate going there, and I went there knowing that I got a wisdom tooth. And then he was like, oh yeah, actually you have 3 wisdom teeth, and like, they all have to go out. They're gonna cause you so much pain. It's like, how dentists sometimes can be. Like, you're gonna die if you don't take it out. You should do it this year, not next year. It's gonna ruin your teeth, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh no. I've been scared of getting that wisdom teeth like my whole life, because I've watched all my friends go through them. I've watched all of them suffer and have like blue cheeks, and like, probably you have. So yeah, I'm not very happy about that. That was a big downer. I'm gonna see a specialist about it because I don't really want to take them out unless I absolutely have to. Sorry, I'm going on a crazy tangent about my teeth here, but yeah, because like my mum, she had her wisdom teeth, and like 30 years ago, they're like, oh, you have to take them out, you're gonna die, you know, you're gonna have in so much pain, blah blah blah, and she didn't. She's fine. I think she got one out now, but like she never had problems. So I don't want to be running around having someone like rip out my teeth. I'm scared of it. Like, let's put it out there. I don't, and it's not gonna be pleasant. And I'm like, yeah, if I have to take them out, you know, like let's just do all three at once, because I never want to go back there. But that's gonna be really painful. So yeah, I'm still hoping I can avoid it. I have no good excuse though. Like I was like, yeah, I can do it next year after I finish my study, but then I could also do this year. I don't really want to. Yeah, so this happened today. Besides that, this is my first week of freedom because I finished my exams. So that was my last exam for my psychology study, as I already told you. And now I have 4 weeks of, well, it's not doing nothing, but I have lots of time for knitting. I have lots of time and no money, which is fantastic. I have to do some woodworking work, but it's very minuscule. And then in 4 weeks, actually 3 weeks, I'm going on holiday. I'm going to Vietnam, which is just super exciting. I went to Vietnam about some years ago to volunteer. So I spent like 6 weeks in Hanoi, I think. And I've been just telling everyone about it, and I love traveling. I travel a lot. I was like, yeah, I have to go back. Because since Vietnam, I've been to Indonesia and Malaysia last year, where I did like a backpacking trip. I've been to Thailand, where I volunteered, and I was like, yeah, I just have to go back to Vietnam. Like, it was the best place. I loved it. I loved the food. I loved the people. It was the first country in Asia, or Southeast Asia, I went to anyway, so probably just that first time really sticks with you. So I'm going for a week alone, and then my boyfriend, who I'm living with, is coming to see me there, and we're doing like a 2.5 week travel around, lots of beach time, just hang out, eat Vietnamese food, and I'm just super excited. But I'm gonna miss my knitting. Do you think I should take knitting stuff? I'm thinking about taking like one lace project, because I mean, I don't want to take lots of stuff. It would be ridiculous. I mean, no, I know a lot of people do that, but I don't do that. And if I take a sock project, I'm gonna finish it within a week, and then I'm gonna have nothing to knit. So I'm thinking like a big lace project, because I just love lace knitting, but not like a complicated one, not like 10,000 crazy patterns, but like just for the sheer volume of it. And if I do finish it, like a nice lacy drapey thing would make the most sense in Vietnam anyways. But then I'm going with like a backpack, and I'm thinking about, I want to take like a max of 8 kilos, which is very little, because I like to backpack with little stuff. So yeah, maybe it's a stupid idea. What do you think? Yeah. So that's happening in the beginning of September. So even if I do end up actually posting this podcast on YouTube, which I hope I will have the guts to do, but I'm still scared. I'm still scared that even though I did 10,000 tests, it's gonna kind of come up with no sound, and I have to do it all again, or maybe not do it, or I look really stupid and didn't realize, and you know, I'm not gonna upload it. So, but even if I do, and if there's gonna be more episodes, obviously there's gonna be a big break for 3 weeks when I am in Vietnam. That's it. So yeah. Not that much is happening besides that. We're planning a weekend trip to my parents this weekend. We might see my boyfriend's parents who live in the north of Germany the weekend after, but I'm not quite sure. They kind of canceled on us, which is sad. And yeah, so about my current situation, I'm living here in Würzburg with my boyfriend. We have like a cute apartment in the middle of the city, which is just amazing. Like, we're literally in the city center, in the 3rd floor apartment, which has like 2.5 rooms. So this is like the living room area. You can see our whiteboard in the back, because my boyfriend is a consultant, so he has like a whiteboard for work. And essentially, he doesn't use it anymore for work because I'm constantly using it. And I love having a whiteboard to draw on. And yeah, I'm having way too much fun with it. Then you can see my favorite thing ever, which is my coffee machine. There it is. I'm addicted to coffee. I love coffee. And lately, I've been loving tea as well. Like, so strange. I'm blaming it on you knitters. Everyone's drinking coffee and sending tea. I've been drinking a lot of tea as well. At the moment, I'm drinking a really good tea by Dallmayr, which is a German brand, I assume. It's a chai tea, because I love chai, but I feel like most of the chai you can buy, it's like just aroma. Like, I want a proper chai tea with black tea in it that tastes like something. And sometimes I make like a soy chai latte, and I love that. So I spend a lot of my time on the couch here, knitting and drinking coffee or tea. We also have a balcony. It's huge. It's like 12 square meters. It's huge for a balcony in the middle of the city as a student, but we don't really use it. I use it to hang up all my yarn. And we've got like a little chair, and we've got a barbecue and all that. But my boyfriend is like, I want to sit inside on my computer. So unfortunately, we don't use it as much as we should. And I'm like, I feel like everyone knits everywhere and takes their knitting outside and to the dentist and whatever. I don't really do that. So yeah, we don't really take as much out of the balcony as we should. And yeah, as I said, I'm studying at university. I'm doing my master's in psychology, which will be finished in exactly a year. Which is kind of crazy because I'm 22, I'll be 23, and I'll be like finished. I'll be like, I have to be grown up. Which is just scary. I don't want to be grown up. I love my life at the moment. And it gives me lots of time for knitting. So knitting wise, I love knitting lace. But when I say that, I feel like everyone thinks I can do like those crazy, beautiful, intricate lace constructions. I can't. I seriously can't. I just love knitting with lace yarn because it's lots of yardage. I love like thin stuff, but I don't know, I wouldn't consider myself a good lace knitter. Then I do lots of socks, and I also have phases of garment knitting. But I've never done a raglan. I talked to Mina about that, Mina from Knitting Expert. I really want to try that. I have knit maybe 10, 12, I don't know, too many sweaters and cardigans and baby cardigans for my friend and so on. But I all do them bottom up. And I tend to not use patterns, or maybe I use patterns as like a reference. But I'm always too scared that like with a normal pattern, like the gauge is off and it doesn't work and stuff. So I kind of make up my own measurements because I know how to knit a jumper so it fits me. I know how to do that. But like doing like, I don't know, like a wet cardigan or all those things that everyone is doing, that would be like a whole other level for me. I think I'm just too scared because I'm not a pattern based knitter. I usually do my own thing, and sometimes I knit patterns, but then I try to, get the pattern in my head, and then I just do it without the pattern anyways. So yeah, that's kind of strange, I guess. And what else? Yes, I love knitting shawls. I do so many shawls, like I could wear a different shawl every day. And my mom is making fun of me because I don't need it, but shawls are so good. Like, I don't understand people who don't wear shawls. Like, I always wear shawls. I wear them instead of like cardigans, and it's just perfect. Well, garment knitting, yeah, I already said that. I do some jumpers, sweaters. I want to do like a boxy top. And Joji Locatelli, I think, has a pattern for that. She has like a worsted version and a normal version. And I really want to do that. But then again, I don't want to buy like a huge load of yarn for like, it's going to be really boring. Like, it's not going to be a fun knit. Maybe that would be good for Vietnam. Like, in the round, huge stockinette sections. I should think about that, but then I have to order yarn. So yeah, and I've once knit a cushion case, which turned out terribly. My boyfriend loves it for some strange reason, which is really strange because he doesn't really love my knitting. Like, he's received 2 pairs of socks, but when I'm like, oh yeah, I'll knit you a hat, I'll knit you socks, he's like, no. He's not too excited about it, which is okay. Like, I don't need him to want me to knit something for him, but yeah, it's kind of strange. So yeah, I think I'm just talking with random stuff here. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna recover from my whole dentist wisdom tooth experience. I'm gonna recover from this because it is quite scary, and I'm really scared to stop filming and actually look at what I'm saying. So I might not. I might just put it online. It's kind of stupid with me running around. I should probably cut that. We'll see. I will post it somewhere. I'll probably link from Instagram. Can you link from Instagram? How do you get people to watch your podcast? Like, how did you people start? Like, I can't put my podcast on Ravelry forums, can I? How do I get my podcast, like, people actually see it? Because I feel like there's so many podcasts out there which I would enjoy, but it's just, you randomly find some sometimes, but it's really hard. Let me know what you think. But yes, I'm gonna finish that, and I'm just gonna enjoy some knitting. I should work, but I kind of can't be bothered at the moment. So I'm just gonna enjoy knitting. I'm gonna continue watching an old Susan B. Anderson podcast, which I started before I went to the dentist. And yeah, that's that. So again, I don't have a Ravelry group yet. I feel like it only makes sense if you have people who actually watch this. But I will make one when necessary, for sure. I will just post my Instagram name, my Ravelry name, everything somewhere here. Maybe if I figure out how to put it in the video, I might do that. Otherwise, underneath. And I'll figure out a title for this podcast. I should have really thought this through. And yeah. Then I just hope you come back. And please, dear Lord, please tell other people about it if you think that they might be interested. I don't mean for you to advertise my blog, my podcast. That's just a podcast. I just feel like this whole knitting community relies on people talking to other people and tell me what you think. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I seriously have no idea. Tell me the stupid stuff I'm doing. I'm sure I'm making a ton of mistakes. But then again, there's no knitting police. There's no spinning police. There's no podcasting police, I think. I love that sentence. So good. That's why I love knitting. Like, you can make mistakes and it's alright. You can fix them. You can leave them. No one cares. It's like your own thing. Like, yeah, there's no knitting police. I'm definitely gonna stop. So thank you so much for watching. If you actually watched 47 minutes of me rambling, me speeding through knitting, and then me rambling instead, thank you so much. This is so fantastic. I'm really excited. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.